Let me know when you're ready.
Thank you, Daddy.
All right, I have your blessing.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough,
government is another way to say better than you.
In fact, you know how fast a 5-cent hooker goes down.
no sane country would do that.
Cruz and Kasich are in it for a participation trophy.
Oh, what you represent to them is freedom.
Hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash.
Just remember, all hate mail comes to me.
The Southside Mutt Show.
Cheerleader. I don't have the boots for it.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Southside Mutt Show, hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, and we are digging up the dirt on news. The Southside Mutt Show is every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com and click on the chat room. Join the conversation. What's up, Smacky?
My temperature. I still feel like shit. Other than that, pretty good. What's going on with you?
Well, you're full of shit, too, so.
Not right now. I just went and took a dump, you know.
Oh, you went and took a Democrat? And that right there is going to segue unintentionally into our first subject.
Okay.
So I was listening to the Rex Tillerson confirmation hearing, and this one specific Democrat, and I didn't catch his name.
Who?
A Democrat, a specific Democrat, not Pacific.
No, who's confirmation hearing?
It's Rex Tillerson, or for Secretary of State. Succotash. It's the Secretary of State.
I was checking in on the who the hell is
Session.
that other guy?
Sessions.
Yeah,
that one was good.
For Attorney General?
Yeah, that one was good. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that one. Anyway, go ahead.
And this Democrat turned around, and like I said, I've never seen him before. I don't know if he was House or Senate, but he turns around and starts going after Rex over climate change. And he wanted to know how he felt about that climate change started the civil war in Syria. I stopped and was like, I had to have misheard that. And he kind of repeated the comment. And he talked about how the climate change caused drought and all this caused the unrest of the civilians to rise up against the government. So the torture, the killing, the releasing chemical weapons upon the civilians, that had nothing to do with it. Assad being a fucking piece of shit dictator had nothing to do with it. It had to deal with this make-believe, basically Mother Nature.
Well, hold on. What I'm trying to figure out is they're going to say, okay, so global warming is the cause for all the problems over there. Those people have been in a constant war for generation upon generation, hundreds upon hundreds, even thousands of years, depending on who you talk to. The Industrial Revolution, which is what they're blaming climate change on, didn't start until the early 1900s.
Yep.
So we're only, 100, let's say it started in 1900. We'll even round up. We're 120 years into having this type of industry. We're 120 years into it, but we're going to blame thousands of years of problems on this?
Yep. Well, hang on. We're gonna change it up a little bit on that because they blamed the United States and Britain on all the problems for the Middle East. But as you said,
the Middle East has been at war well before
3,000 years
was even established.
Yes. And what's funny is there's a Muslim anti-American mouthpiece over in Islamistan or some country over there. And she has even said, "It's stop blaming the United States. They're messed up and they do a lot of evil, but they're not the ones that have been doing the fighting. This is between religions and religion only." What the?
Well, one of the things I like, somebody brought it up. I heard it. I think it was last week. Oh, sorry. And it was, the whole thing, with the Muslims. It's a religion of peace. No, it's not. No, it's not. And then they turn around like, well, you Christians need to get off your high horses. You guys had the Crusades. You killed billions upon billions of Muslims. You went and did all this stuff. But now you're going to say that it's all on them and you're innocent and everything else?
Yep.
Somebody turned around and did a little history lesson for them and said, no, you're absolutely right. We did do the Crusades. We did kill a lot of them. What prompted the first Crusade? Oh, yeah, that would be them attacking us. What prompted the next one? Oh, yeah, that'd be them attacking us. Every single time, there's proof positive that they attacked, we retaliated, we kicked ass. That's simple.
But it's also, you're talking how many thousand years ago they're bringing up Christians on?
I'm talking Uncle Joe for you.
You're talking thousands of years ago with the problems with the Christians? And now Muslims are the issue nowadays? The extreme Muslims, it's the issue? In modern day, not thousands of years ago? So this excuse about what Christians...
Watch episode 7, see what else you can find.
What happened thousands of years ago does not apply to what's going on now. It's all... My temper goes up with that shit. You back?
It is absolutely impossible for me to do anything without a hemorrhoid attached to me. But yeah, I heard bits and pieces of what you were saying. But hey, that's the funny thing is, and the part I love most about it, and this is the thing that I get the biggest kick out of, and I've been saying this ever since all this stuff with the extremism and the Muslim and all the rest of the stuff, ever since all this started. Why is it every time there's talking points and people are up in arms and preaching about that religion and how wonderful it is, why is it usually just some liberal who is by their own definition Protestant or Catholic or atheist or some other denomination anyway? And I don't really hear the Muslim community at large speaking up to condone the attacks and to try to foster peace and understanding. I don't really ever hear much coming out of them. It seems like it's all these liberals who want a very nice talking point and votes in the next upcoming election.
Yeah, and
which just really, to me, that just points out how absolutely ridiculous the argument is. And you're speaking of something that you have, I mean, as much as I hate to do it, but I'll quote Whoopi Goldberg, don't talk about a subject that you have no knowledge about. Now, of course, when she made that quote, she was completely inaccurate because the person actually did have a lot of knowledge. But, right.
Not uncommon for her.
Now, the problem is everybody on The View, I'll tell you what, it's annoying to watch, but you can get a lot of comic relief out of watching those idiots.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I just couldn't believe that they're blaming a civil war. And he's going on, well, we got shorelines that are eroding, and we got this shoreline's higher now, and this one's lower. Yeah, it's called continental drift that has been proven years ago is happening.
And it's still occurring.
And it will always occur. We're drifting apart in some areas. We're building up, and it's, oh, my God, the sea's getting larger. It's bringing it to our shore. But here's the thing. NASA has come out and said there has not been 1 inch of increase, not a half inch, not a quarter inch of the ocean level. There's no warming, no increase, and no melting.
Now, here's the other thing that they also fail to realize. Okay, they fail to recognize a lot of things, scientific things. Okay, number one, if I have a fixed amount of water in a pot I boil that water in an enclosed environment, my water level will drop until that steam recondenses, cools off, and then falls back down. And if I've got zero loss, I always have the exact same amount of water molecules, just in various states, whether it's solid, liquid, or gas.
Wait a minute.
Number
Stop. You're quoting facts and science to them. That don't work.
Okay, number 2. Oh, well, I'm going to do another one anyway. So they're saying that the sea levels are rising. Okay. Honestly, I'll agree. I mean, I'll actually even say, you know what? I absolutely do believe sea levels are rising.
Okay.
Because well, hear me out here.
I am.
How are islands formed? Volcanic rock, correct? So as you have magma that is solidifying into rock, displacing a body of water, displacing a certain volume of water, that volume of water will need to go elsewhere. The Hawaiian Islands are still growing. The Ring of Fire in the Pacific is constantly active. Most of it is underwater, so we don't see it. But it is discharging magma, which then cools into rock. That displaces the water that
you
was
keep
there.
saying magma, and I think of
somewhere.
Austin Powers with Dr. Evil. So I don't know why, but that just keeps popping in my head. Damn it, Lee!
I just want some freaking sharks with some freaking laser beams on their head.
Hey, I got a whole bag of and I'm not afraid to use it. Now, that's a preemptive shish. Zippy Longstocking.
God.
So it's
anyway.
Well, here's a little fact I want to jump in there with, because there's islands that'll pop up for a day or two, and then it goes back into the sea, and then another one pops up and it goes back into the sea. And what does that do to levels? That'll cause them to rise and lower.
No, I think those are called the scourge, though.
Ah, yeah, the scourge.
Sorry.
That was bad.
Fucking video games.
Yeah, I know. Damn it. All right, go back on with your point. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just stupid shit.
Oh no, that was
the pops in the head.
That was pretty much my point, though. Is the world is constantly changing.
Yeah, weather is constantly changing.
For the most part, I mean, if you were to say, because I'll you know me, I'll never say anything with 100%. For the most part, you figure 90+%, 95+%, whatever. We have essentially a fixed amount of land mass, a fixed amount of water, of liquid ocean water, for the most part. And it cycles. Things rise, they fall. It heats up and it evaporates, it condenses, and it falls back down in the form of rain. Now, are we contributing to that with industry, with the population, with everything else? Yeah, I mean, we are. We're affecting it, but not to these extremes that everybody's talking about. I mean, Christ, you got assholes out there wanting to put catalytic converters on fucking cows because they're saying the cow farts are what's causing everything.
Oh, don't forget
Honestly,
the burps too. The burps and the farts.
Yeah,
but we can't put the catalyst on them because that's animal cruelty.
Coming out of Washington D.C.
Oh, the hot air out of those idiots. Well, I had another senator last week, I think it was, who said he could prove that there's global warming because in California, scientists predicted that there'll be wet weather and there'll be dry weather. And what do they have in California? They have wet weather followed by dry weather. It makes my head hurt. It's called Mother Nature.
I think something just ruptured in my brain.
I know what you're talking about. What the? How do you respond to that?
With a slap to the back of the head.
I think what they try to do is they come up with the most asinine statements that kind of just makes us so speechless we shut up, and then they get to say they won the conversation and it's fact now. Seriously, all right, I want to change it up to one other thing I want to talk about. Then we'll go into Jeff Sessions. Ooh, two things I got to bring up. Donald Trump went after CNN today. CNN and BuzzFeed. They posted it literally an unconfirmed. They admitted it was unconfirmed. They couldn't find a single person that could back up a single statement. Multiple news agencies had this article since August and refused to publish it because it was so far-fetched. CNN does it. Now they're trying to put all the blame onto BuzzFeed. It was all BuzzFeed's fault. We didn't blame anything. We just put the article out there for you to read, yada, yada, trying to make excuses. So this idiot goes to ask Trump a question today. Trump looks at him and says, "No, you are fake news. I'm not dealing with you." And one of the things they accused Trump of being into golden showers. That's how low this went. It's pretty disgusting that they would go to this. But what he did, there's several people standing up and saying, good, someone needs to take on the press that have turned into nothing more than bullies. They scream freedom of the press, which there is, but then they write all this, whatever they want, whether fact backed up. They put out blatant lies and then scream, we're protected, we're the press. It's about time someone called them out and stood up to the cocksuckers.
The thing is, freedom of the press is the freedom for the press to report the news, to report on facts, not on bullshit and everything else. Like, now, if you want to write an opinionated piece, then you label it, this is an opinionated piece. You want to write something that's a commentary, you label it as such. But if you're going to state that something is fact, and you're going to declare that you have freedom of the press, you have the freedom to write this article because the people have the right to know, then it needs to be fact-based. Otherwise, submit it to a fucking publisher, file it underneath works of fiction, and if somebody's bored, maybe they'll fucking read it.
Basically what it comes down to, and the names that are popping up are John McCain, the Democrat Party, Hillary Clinton's, one of the super PACs had this, and even they've had it since like August, this information. And even they didn't use it because they said they can't even back up any facts. Supposedly, one of Trump's personnel went to Prague to meet with Russian operatives to work with Russia on everything. Well, the State Department came out today and said he's never been to Prague. But now it's BuzzFeed's fault. BuzzFeed's fault. It was on your site. And I'll talk more about it tomorrow, but I'm glad someone finally stood up to the bullies that CNN has become.
Well, the thing is, and this is some of what nobody's going to be used to with President-elect Trump, and that is the fact that he's not a politician. No. They are so used to dealing with these cookie-cutter politicians. Yes, each one of them has their own little nuances and everything else, but for the most part, they've all got their background agendas. They've all got their side games that they're playing. For the most, they're fairly easy to read a lot of the times when it comes to most of the stuff. So the same tactics that have been working for the past 10, 15, 20-plus years will continue to work with these politicians. Now you go up against a business tycoon who is now in the, political arena. It's not going to work the same. He does not have that mentality. He is more used to being attacked and defending himself. And whether you like the guy or not, the fact of the matter is, if he's right, he's usually fucking right. You don't have to like the guy. It doesn't mean he's not good at what he fucking does.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry. Hey, you know what? The fucking country spoke.
Well,
we're tired of the career politicians.
What about the fact
that popular vote bullshit?
All right, Trump won 38 states, where she won 12 states and 1 district of Columbia. So 13 she won. He won 38. So if they want to throw these numbers, he dominated in the state count. He dominated in the electoral. Deal with it. Real quick.
The only number they flout they flaunt is individual voter records.
Yep.
Because that's the only one that she got more of, because the couple of states
California
that she did win have the largest.
California. She won by 3
voters.
million votes in California alone. So, it's same shit, different day. They're running their mouths just to hear themselves. And it's a lot of us are tired of it. I'm tired of it. But where was all this outrage for silencing of free speech and freedom of the press when Obama wiretapped the news agencies, the reporters? Where was this outrage when Obama refused to let the press follow him on vacations on the golf courses? Where was this outrage when he did less press conferences, where only certain reporters were allowed to ask questions after pre-submitting their questions to him? Where was the outrage when he attacked Fox News repeatedly over 8 years, where he tried to set up laws that would put a government agent in all newsroom that would okay any news that the government was involved in? Where was the outrage then? I forgot about that one when he tried to put that government personnel in the newsroom to oversee.
Honestly, I'd actually forgotten about that, and what I really find comical is everybody's jumping all over Trump, saying Trump's in cahoots with Russia. That whole putting a government agent in all news reporting agencies, and it sounds very much like communist Russia to me.
Yeah. It sounds, yeah, but who was the one that got mic'd saying, after I get reelected, I'll have more wiggle room to give you freedom? That was said to Russia. And that was Obama saying that to one of the Russian personnel in 2012. No, there was no complaints about that. What about the reset button? What about we okayed 20% of our uranium and giving it or selling it to Russia? Our uranium. That's how nuclear bombs are made. Big booms with those. Russia. And real quick, and then we're going to get on to Sessions. Well, we'll take a break, and then we'll go to Sessions. You want to talk about waste? And I think we're going to do a study, Crash. Me, you, we're going to do a study. We're going to give it to the government and try to get at least one. I don't know. We'll come up with how many billions we need for this study. The government paid Brown University $5 million to find out if frat boys, and what they mean by that is any male that's in a fraternity drinks more than non-frat member males in a university. You're very quiet. Too quiet. We paid
seriously spent taxpayer dollars on that.
$5 million of them to find out if male frat members drink more than non-frat members, which anybody with a brain knows.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I think we need to do a.
No, I have a study. I
do too. Well, you give me your proposal, and I'll give you mine.
See if termites actually choke on splinters.
That's not any fun. I got one that's more fun.
Okay.
Since they're willing to give the money to colleges, okay, then I think you and I need to do a study.
Sorority houses flash more?
No, I want to see if they're more promiscuous.
Okay.
Are sorority house girls more promiscuous than non-sorority house girls? I think we should use like University of Miami or something like that. I'll do it for hell.
No. Shit, what was that? University, it's Allentown.
What?
Well, I think it's University of Allentown is labeled the party school. That would be the best place to do it. I think we could get a couple billion out of that.
I was just topping it off.
That would be very interesting. That was good. See if sorority girls are more promiscuous than non-sorority girls.
Mm-hmm.
You know we're going to have to get divorced before that one.
No, okay. Are sorority girls more interested in bisexual relations than non-sorority girls?
Well, actually, wait a minute. I got thinking. I may not need to get a divorce because as long as we're getting paid millions of dollars to do that and my wife's making that kind of money, she wouldn't mind selling me out for something like that. I forgot that my wife would sell me out in a heartbeat for that.
Well, yeah, because then she wouldn't have to deal with it.
Exactly. One less job for her to do. Oh, God. I think we can get maybe that'll charge $10 million. And what is it? University of Allentown, isn't that the party school?
I'll pick one. You know what though? Honestly, I think we would definitely have to charge a higher rate than $5 million. I mean, easily.
Yeah.
There's just because we'd be dealing with multiple other types of problems, such as STDs, pissed off spouses, and boyfriends. So we would have to get hazard pay thrown into all that.
Okay, Princeton Review, which publishes an annual guide to picking and preparing colleges, has ranked the top party schools. Princeton rated it. Number 1 is University of Wisconsin-Madison, West Virginia University. University of Illinois at Urbana, whatever. Lehigh University. You'll do that one. And, where's any Florida? University of Florida is number 18, and Florida State University is 20.
I'm not dealing with any school that's a big party school, but surrounded by nothing but farmland. No, I'm not into that type of thing.
No. Lehigh ain't that bad. Lehigh, there might be some farm animals involved. I'm not sure. And nobody could bitch. I spent a lot of time up in Lehigh County. All right, we're going to hit a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to start talking about the Jeff Sessions confirmation hearings. Today was fun with the confirmation hearings. So you've been listening to the Southside Mutts show, hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Crash. And we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I think I'm Shannon, and you're Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Live on SHR Media.
And on TECN.
Where we'll be talking about all kinds of things.
From sports and politics.
To food and entertainment.
To money.
Family.
And anything else in between.
Community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's Bigfooted enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR Media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Coming soon to Ossicles near you. Excelsior.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutts Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Southside Mutts Show, hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, and we are digging up the dirt on the news. All right, take it away there, Crashy.
So what?
Well, you wanted to talk about Sessions and the confirmation hearing that went on today. So go ahead.
Really, the only the only thing that I wanted to bring up about, I haven't really been following it massively, but just little tidbits that have popped out, and the one that really popped out at me today was Senator Cory Booker from the illustrious state of New Jersey. I believe he's also known as Obama Light. He decided to actually essentially testify against Sessions. He spoke out against him in the hearing, saying that his policies and his stance on things in the past has shown that he is he's biased towards certain groups or against other groups. And at this time in our country, we need an attorney general that will bring the people together. We need somebody who will speak for everybody and not have any biases and, help, reunite the country as a whole. Well, okay, that all sounds well and good, except for a couple things. Number one, no matter how good intentions you are, everybody's got bias. I'm sorry. It's human nature. If somebody's going to tell me they don't have bias, I'm going to tell them they're lying. Because you're going to have, at some point, there will be something. Everybody has a certain level of bias when it comes to certain topics. It's just the way that it is. We are not machines. So that statement is kind of, just a bit outlandish, period. But for him to stand up there and be preaching about how we need someone that's going to bring the country together and not be divisive and not have any biases, and that's why he's going up against Sessions. Well, where was he when Lynch was pulling all her shit? When conservative groups were getting attacked by the IRS, and the Attorney General didn't do shit about it. I mean, those were criminal activities. Yet, nope, highest law in the land. Nope, she didn't want to touch that. She had nothing to do with that. Where was he when all this bullshit's been going on with BLM and all the rest of the stuff? He's saying the country needs to get brought together. It's been more freaking. The past few years has put a bigger wedge in this country than anything I've seen my entire fucking life.
No, Obama said it's gotten better.
Due to Trump.
Obama said it's gotten better.
It's gotten better. Well, yeah, since the election.
No. Obama said. I feel like
Waterboy.
Yeah, Waterboy.
Yeah, no.
Obama said that the race relationships is better, but yet just a couple months ago he was talking about how the United States is full of a bunch of racist bastards, and I love that today because Sessions and I can't remember who the other guy from the House called Sessions a racist. They called him a racist and didn't give 1 ounce of evidence towards it. They just called him and accused him and left it at that.
But honestly, this just popped into my head, and Lord. I'd love to know because it seems like both parties, use the whole talking point of bring the country together, make the country great. Make the country great again. That's really just been Trump's and the Republican side of it. But the liberals, the Democrats, they've been really big on this whole "stronger together," which was Clinton's slogan. And we got to bring everybody together. We have to have unity for all. It's the betterment of everybody. Yet, it was only a few months ago. This whole we're supposed to, we're gonna band-aid the country. We're gonna bring everybody together. We're gonna make everybody feel included. We're gonna bring everybody together, except for that basket of deplorables.
Yes, the damn basket.
Deplorable people. Yet, I don't remember Booker jumping on Clinton's ass about essentially segregating half the goddamn country.
Nope. That was okay.
That was a pretty goddamn big basket of deplorables. Because we won. Sorry.
But the popular vote. That pisses
We're
me.
not getting into that.
Well, I'm going to get
Not
into it
getting
because
into
I'm going to
that.
bring it up. I'm going to be the asshole. Yeah, I hear so many times, well, she won the popular vote. He won the electoral vote, and he won 38 while she won 13 states. Technically, she won 12 and one District of Columbia because I know I'll get some idiot. She didn't. That doesn't add up. Well, you know what? Tell me I'm wrong. I would get some idiot that would.
You would. Well, honestly, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, okay? I mean, there are certain, whether we call them districts, we call them territories, they have a certain number of representatives.
But not voting.
Get a certain voting power.
No, they don't.
They get a certain presence. Well,
They get presence.
Columbia does.
No.
Okay, Puerto Rico.
No, they have a presence, but no voting power.
You just said she won the District of Columbia.
Well, the people can vote. I thought, never mind, misunderstanding. My bad. And actually, also Puerto Rico, because they're in such financial dire straits, they're now trying to push to have another vote to become statehood so that we bail them out even more because they know they can't keep coming to us to be bailed out without being a state.
No. I like round numbers.
You like your states like you like your women round.
You're not my wife, right?
What am
I going to argue with that one for?
I'm not. I didn't want to go either way. It just.
Well, no, but okay, not to completely switch the topic onto the whole Puerto Rico vote thing, but
Too late.
In all honesty, okay, my true opinion on them becoming a state is I am against it at this point for the specific reason of when the option was given a while ago.
Yeah.
And they would have actually had to give, they essentially would have had to start giving into the system that they were benefiting from. They didn't want anything to do with it.
Nope.
Because
Now
for
that they
them,
need money.
It made more sense for them to be able to take and not have to give anything back.
Oh, what was the other thing they brought
So
up?
they haven't been
Because
contributing anything, and now all of a sudden now that everything's turned and that they're in such a hard place,
and they also
now
want
they
say,
want statehood so they can get more aid.
but
and
also
they're still-
it's
but they're
because they
not
want
in a
more
position to give
say
anything back.
in voting for a president because having a representative like Trump isn't fair.
No.
I know. Piss
I'm
off.
sorry, unless you've got something to contribute.
If you don't have anything to contribute,
I
you need to sit down and be quiet, kid.
Yeah.
I got my teachers
Pretty
telling me
much.
that all the time.
That's teachers usually told you to go to the principal's office.
Yeah, I got that too. They had their chance. We should have cut ties with them. Okay, we'll make sure no one invades you, but you're on your own now. No more money from us. You had a chance to become a state, and you didn't want a part of it. You turned your back. You said you didn't want to become a state. Well, you don't get no more money then. You don't get no more representation. Because they have people that show up to the House and, just the House, but they have no voting power. And that's why I was thinking you meant the representatives have voting powers, not the actual people.
They don't have an official voting power, but they do have an influential power.
Right, because they're saying now that Washington, D.C. should have voting rights. The House members from D.C. should be allowed to vote.
No, because in order to do that, then the District of Columbia would need to become its own entity.
Yep.
The District of Columbia was specifically done so that not any one state held the capital of the United States of America. That's why the original drawings, the original landmark for Washington, D.C., was made up of 3 states. Originally, it was made up of 3. Now, due to financial reasons and developmental reasons early on, the Arlington area on the other side of the river in Virginia, that was given back to Virginia. essentially they just, the district just gave that land back because they couldn't pay for it. But the rest of the city sits in 2 states. It was originally meant to sit in 3. And depending on who you talk to, there's still a lot of people that do still feel that it does sit in all 3. But legally, it only sits in 2.
Yeah.
And there was a reason behind that.
See, that's why I like having you on the show.
I'm sorry. I don't see any reason why we need to undo that. Okay? You're a resident of one of those 2 states. You can live it. I mean, honestly, then why don't we just turn around and also say that New York City should be its own state outside of New York State? Los Angeles County should become its own state outside of the state of California.
Oh, did you hear who might run for mayor of New York City?
Doesn't Clinton want to run or something like that?
Oh, well, she doesn't want to run, I heard, but she's getting a lot of pressure from the Democrat Party to try to keep her relevant and to keep control of... Yeah, she would win New York City, yes, but that has I heard De Blasio pissed.
She would win New York City. I don't believe she would win New York State again, though. I think she's pissed off. Well, no, actually, she probably would because New York City has
New York voted for her
in it.
Yeah, and they voted heavily for her. She won New York.
Yeah. The thing is, if you go farther out into the state, you get farther outside the city. She doesn't have
the influence.
That party doesn't have the support. It doesn't have as much support.
Well, it's sort of like California. California's the same way. There's more. The map is more red in California, but same with Florida. They're both pretty much covered in red, but there's little areas, the cities that have a high population, and
Well, honestly, I never realized it until I moved to South Jersey that if in South Jersey there's a lot of red. North Jersey is a lot more blue. South Jersey leans more red. And again, look at the populations, look at the cities.
Yeah. And we're not pointing to nationality, we're pointing to numeric-wise, before I get that one.
Oh, great, yeah.
So, let's switch up the gears a little bit. The Sessions confirmations were fun to watch, within that confirmation today, you had Booker, then you had a black gentleman who was a lawyer that his career really got pushed into, I think he became a federal judge and all that, or a state judge. State attorney, and it was because of Sessions. And he said, he had always heard about Sessions in the news, that he was a racist, and he said he was in private practice, and he got the phone call one day of Jeff Sessions on the phone for you, and he almost didn't take the job because he was waiting to find out that the guy was really racist. He said, but the whole time I've known him, just about my whole adult life, the guy has done nothing but help me out. We've worked cases of putting the KKK out of business. This man, and he stuck up and gave evidence of why he says he's not a racist. And then you had another member of the House come up and yip. He talked about the 1960s, how he marched in the civil rights and all this. And somehow that got placed onto Sessions. It had nothing to do with Sessions, but it got placed upon him. And then another guy came up, and it was another black gentleman that worked closely with Sessions. And he even turned around and said, none of these guys have probably spent 10 minutes actually talking to Jeff Sessions. And he just ripped them apart. And he went on about his stuff, but he ripped them apart at the same time and just sticking up for Sessions. He said all they're doing is partisan politics. He goes, they're up here bashing them because that's what they have to do. I was just sitting there like, holy shit. Thank you. As someone... These people were sticking up for him. They tried it yesterday. They tried to bash him, and they kept getting it stuck up their asses. He's a racist. How is he racist? Because I said so.
No, wasn't it yesterday? They also had the hearings were interrupted a couple of times, like BLM.
Oh, it was all different groups there. There was 2 white guys that stood up in KKK outfits, screaming, way to go, he's our boy. And then when they were getting dragged out by the police, they were screaming, you can't arrest us, we're white, we're one of you, you can't touch us. Just make it the typical liberal outbursts were happening.
Wait. That doesn't make any sense to me.
We're talking about the left. They don't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
The man that prosecuted and put KKK out of business in Alabama, they're trying to say that Jeff Sessions was part of the KKK.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't see a couple of true KKK guys.
No, they weren't. It was a bunch of liberals that thought they'd be smart asses, and we're going to pin him to.
You can't arrest me for the white one.
Yep.
That just doesn't even.
It's liberals. It doesn't make sense. When have they ever made sense?
All right. I'll give you that one.
It pissed me off. The outbursts, it really made the left look childish. It really did. Now, there was groups like Code Pink that got removed at the beginning. It didn't even start, and they were removed immediately. I mean, they were dressed really inappropriate. I'm not saying you have to be in suit and tie to go to these meetings, but they were dressed very inappropriate. I think one of them had like a pink tutu on, and it's... If I was a Democrat, I would be trying to distance myself from these people because they put an embarrassment on the groups.
I was going to say, really, you're making them look like you're making that entire political party look more and more ridiculous.
With what's going on, they look worse than a monkey fucking a football. I'll get in trouble for that comment, won't I? It's
why? There's a YouTube video of it.
All right, and we only got a couple minutes left, and I want to bring up a video that I watched. And I'm not I beg people, don't go and watch it. Really don't. It is disturbing. My point I'm bringing up about it is how the hell do you combat against something of this caliber? ISIS put out a video where they have children, and I'm talking one was like a 10, 11-year-old, one was a 7, and one was a 4-year-old. The 10 and the 7-year-old were cutting these men that were strapped down, alive, cutting their throats, and they do it like they're cutting butter. And then this 4-year-old comes walking over, and it is handed like a little .25 handgun, and he starts firing shots into this guy's head. The first shot hits him in the head, but it's off to the side. The guy's still alive. And the kid just starts firing more shots off and starts screaming, Allah Akbar. And the Democrats want us to give love and hugs, and we can talk this out. No, if you're teaching your kids like that, no.
Yet it's inappropriate for me to teach my young daughter how to fire a rifle. That's inappropriate parenting.
As me and Crash were talking about it, and we know each other's EMS career. I mean, we worked together for years. I have seen a lot of shit. And what I saw in that video, I don't even have the words for it. I'm not even going to try.
It takes a bit. It takes a bit to disturb us. It's disturbing, to say the least. The very least.
It's watching a guy get his throat cut, gasping for breath, and the one guy you could see they show his legs kicking, and you know when he gets to the spine because his legs just flop, and it was like, holy shit, these kids are cutting. Oh my god, and they have a smile on their face.
Well, the problem is these kids are being taught
at a young
this
it's normal.
at such a young age, and they're being
indoctrinated.
They're witnessing it at such a young age. To them, this is normal life. I mean, I hate to put it this way.
I know, but how do you fight against that? How do we fight against that?
The thing is, there isn't any way to fight against it. I mean, you take. I'm not going to try to pick on your family or anything like that, but take your kid, okay? 4 years old, you hand her a cleaver, and you say, go out in the chicken coop and get dinner. Okay, is her reaction going to be the same as that 4-year-old that grew up on a farm? And what exactly? But for the kid that grew up on the farm, and that's how they, that's just the normal way of life. That is the way life is, and they're teaching their kids that humans, the infidel is.
I understand that's psychological. It's just how do we combat against that?
How do you fight it? Honestly, I don't know. And to be perfectly honest, how do you fight that? I don't know. I mean, for lack of a better way of putting it, Catholics have been fighting the Muslims for thousands of years. We've been at war on both sides.
And there's an update.
I really don't know.
Can I interrupt real quick? There's an update on the Fort Lauderdale shooter. There's an update. That's very important.
Okay.
They now found out that, guess what he is?
Converted?
Yep. Years ago, before he went in the army, he converted to Muslim. We're going to find out that this guy was actually a Muslim sympathizer and did this attack in the name of ISIS. I bet you.
Well, his family said, his family came out publicly already and said that, ever since he came back from the Middle East, he wasn't the same. He wasn't the same guy. He was different.
He got, what's the word? Radicalized when he was over in the Middle East.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So, we're going to have to cut it off there. We're going to have to cut it off there. All right, make your point real quick. You got like 30 seconds, so.
No, what I was going to say was the fact of the matter is just because somebody is Muslim doesn't mean that they're bad. The guy could have been Muslim before he got into the army. Then he went over there and got radicalized. That's the bad part. I don't want anybody to think that.
No, I'm not picking on Muslims.
Like all of them. That's not the case. But this radical shit, when you've got a 4-year-old decapitating a live human being, I'm sorry. There's something fucking wrong there.
Yeah, it's...
And I may not know how to fight it, but I do know one thing. I sure as hell don't want it next to my fucking house. I don't want it in my fucking state. I don't want it in my fucking country.
Nope.
If you come near me with that shit, my gun's got
back.
longer range than your knife.
All right. And with that, we'll be back next week. And coming up next is Ken the Conservative. And after that will be the Sackheads Radio Show at 11 p.m. Till next week. Jersey Joe, and that's Crash. Have a great night.
Yeah, have a good one.
You've been listening to The Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.